Hello and welcome. If this is our first time together, my name is Patrick Geary. I am an intuitive astrologer, celestial channel, and creative writer, and I'm really excited to be here with you this month to tune into Taurus season. And when I say Taurus season, I'm talking about this wonderful month when the sun is shining down on us from the constellation of the Bull. I love Taurus season. Taurus has strong associations with the earth, with what is physical and material and embodied. It reminds us of how lucky and fortunate we are to be here in physical form, how lucky we are to have these five senses that help us appreciate the beauty of the environments around us, the art that we see with our eyes, the music that we hear with our ears, the delicious tastes that we experience, the wonderful, sumptuous textures we get to touch, and my gosh, the fragrant smells that are certainly emanating from all around my house up here in London in the Northern Hemisphere, where this mid-spring time is just bursting with life all around. Taurus really helps us to slow down. It helps us to be solid. It helps us to be patient. It helps us to be graceful. I think about that Lao Tzu quote that nature never rushes and yet everything is accomplished. And that really brings me to the essence of Taurus, which is allowing for ourselves to unfold from within. The flower isn't concerned about whether it's going to bloom. It's not concerned about when it's going to bloom. It knows it's going to bloom. It's not going to bloom late. It's not going to bloom early. There's no such thing as late or early. Everything blooms perfectly in its own time, and that includes me and it includes you. So I really encourage you, as the sun is moving through Taurus, to allow yourself to relax. And as you relax, and as you relax into your body, as you move into this physical experience, maybe even engaging in some embodiment exercises, some wonderful Taurus embodiment exercises can be to simply notice the flow of sensory information in the environment around you, seeing what's moving, hearing what's moving, feeling what's moving around you and what's moving through you, or to feel those points of contact that your body has with the earth, feeling the chair beneath your seat, feeling the ground beneath your feet. If you're lying down, feeling what's holding you and what's supporting you. Taurus can also bring that tremendous appreciation for the earth and for all that it offers. And it's a wonderful time to slow down for long enough to find gratitude for these bodies that we have, for these lives that we are privileged enough to lead. So, with all of that said, I'd love to talk a little bit about the image that you see behind me. And this is the energy image that I get for this month, and it is a gloriously golden field of grain. This image came to me as I was lying in bed on Monday morning, that first morning when I woke up with the sun in Taurus here in London. And it was so vivid and it felt so real to me that in my mind's eye, I wanted to imagine myself lying down on this field of grain and feeling it below me. But as I did, I was really surprised that I felt my body move through the grain and go into the ground, go into the roots, as though I was being absorbed by the grain. I felt myself merge with it. And as I did, I felt not just the grain that you see behind you. I felt myself as the seeds when they were first sown. I felt myself as the sprouts when they first emerged through the soil. I felt myself as the stalks reaching up towards the sun. I felt myself mature and ripen into this full picture you see behind you. I felt myself sway in the wind. I felt myself bask in the sunshine. And then I felt myself be harvested, be gathered, be collected. I felt myself be milled into flour, baked into bread, consumed, eaten, enjoyed, and then being brought back into the earth to begin the cycle again. And this reminded me of a really groundbreaking session I had with my favorite quantum hypnotherapist, my dear friend and colleague Melissa. I'll put her information down below. I recommend seeing her for, well, basically anything. And in this session, the goddess Demeter came to visit us. Demeter is the Greek goddess of the harvest, of agriculture, of fertility, and also very much associated with cycles of life and death, exactly as I just described. And I felt her energy in that golden glow in our session together, and I felt it again on Monday morning. So I know that that energy is here with us throughout the course of the month. And I felt so inspired by this that I am dedicating my monthly class for paying subscribers on Substack to connect with Demeter and with this wonderful, simple process that Demeter shared with us to help us identify what in our lives is ripening, what is ready to be harvested, what is ready to be eaten. I'd love it if you'd like to join me for that. I will be offering it tomorrow. That's Thursday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. UK time. I will do the class live and I'll also send out the recording shortly thereafter. I'll pop a link down below if you'd like to join me on Substack. It would be a delight to see you there. I know there's also a free trial offer if you want to sign up just to see if this class is for you, or maybe all you need is to connect with that energy of Demeter. So join me if you can. It'd be great to see you there. And now let's dive into the astrology of the month. So there's one chart that I'm going to pull up and we'll look at it together. And this is the ingress chart for Taurus season. So this is the moment that that sun first entered into Taurus. So that was back at 2:40 a.m. on Monday, April 20th, UK time. You'll see the sun here at 0 degrees and 0 minutes of Taurus. And I like to look at that ingress chart because this is the announcement of the sun's arrival and it sets the tone for the entirety of the month. Of course, like any astrological chart, this is a snapshot of a moving picture. The sun will continue to move through Taurus, the other planets will continue to move. There will be many events that happen over the course of the month. And also, because this is that bell first ringing, there's a resonance that this chart carries with us throughout the rest of the month that will sit with us. So by looking at it, we really get that sense for what this month holds for us, what this year's Taurus season is all about. And the first thing I want to highlight is that the sun is approaching an aspect, a square with the planet Pluto. And this is the first time that the sun will be coming to see another planet in quite some time. We did have a new moon in Aries on April 17th, when the moon sort of whizzed through Aries and kissed the sun to begin our new lunar cycle. But apart from that interaction with the moon, it's been since April 5th, that square with Jupiter on April 5th, that the sun has not had any aspects with any other planets. It's really been shining up there on its own. This is a very long period of time for the sun to be what we would call unaspected. I want to say I view unaspected as a positive thing. I view it as you going to a silent retreat where you're just by yourself. You're really getting to know yourself. You're not needing to interact with anything else around you. You are in your essence. You are, as one of my friends said, you are in pure aura time. So this is a great time to really connect with your solar essence, with what lights you up, with what you feel passionately about, with what you love, with your creative spark, with your originality, with your uniqueness, with your brilliance, with your center. And we've all had a chance to do that as the sun has been moving through those later degrees of Aries. And now that the sun moves into Taurus, it is coming back into relation with some of the other planetary bodies in our solar system. And maybe you're also having that experience of coming back into relation with the world around you. Maybe it feels like you've been on your own silent retreat in some way, shape, or form, really getting to know yourself and the pure essence of who you are and how you express yourself, how you shine best. And maybe with this deeper knowledge, this deeper access to your truth as you experience it and the world that you are creating, you're now coming into contact with others. And that contact might bring a certain amount of tension. We're looking at a square aspect. Squares usually bring a certain amount of tension. And not only is it a square, it's a square with the planet Pluto. Pluto is usually raising up themes for us around power, around control, and around fear. And with Pluto in Aquarius, I've noticed it can raise lots of issues or concerns around fears of being excluded, fears of being marginalized, fears of being less than, even fears of having our humanity taken away from us in some way. So as I see that sun approaching this square with Pluto, it really feels to me like there is this bass note, this almost this tension that's floating in the air. And that tension to me is an invitation to go into deeper personal power, to know that no matter what anyone else says, no matter what anyone else believes about me, I know myself best. I know what is true for me, and I get to live by that truth. I am creating this whole world around me, and the best thing for me to do is to create it in resonance with my heart and with my soul. So, the more that I allow myself to move into my heart, the more that I allow myself to move into my deep knowing, into my intuition, into my root, the more that I'm able to release the doubts about my powers, about who I am, what I am here to do, the more that I get to enjoy my life, the more that I get to create what I want to create. And frankly, it doesn't really matter what other people think about that. I've had several conversations over the past days where I've heard reflections about what most people think, this idea of most people thinking something about me or thinking something about somebody else, this idea of this almost faceless crowd, this system. And to me, that's really a manifestation or a representation of the collective systems of control and the conditioned beliefs that we have that limit our access to our true power, to our divine essence. And maybe it's time to disconnect from those. So if you notice anything feels limiting or anything feels heavy, allow yourself to go into it and allow yourself to go below to it. And with that sun in Taurus, I really encourage you to go into your body, to let yourself relax. I've been doing this practice myself, to let yourself relax below whatever story you might have about yourself, what you can do, what you can't do, whatever story you might have that other people have told you, whatever fears you might have, allowing yourself to just relax, to go below the story and to feel the truth of who you are and to feel the beauty of who you are, to ground yourself in that place, to center yourself in that place, and to act from that place, knowing that you have every right to be here. You have every right to be who you are. The best thing you can do is to do that. So use that fear as a signal to let you know that there is more of you available to embrace, and use it as an alarm bell that there's a limiting belief or something at play that's preventing you from fully expressing yourself. I can assure you that when you are fully you, people will not be running away from you. They will be running towards you. It's the best thing that you can do. When you are you, you empower other people to be themselves. I notice this in my own life. The more that I allow myself to be me, the more people want to be around me. So trust me, this is the case. I also want to highlight that we have the moon here in early Gemini, and the moon is in a trine with Pluto. A trine is a wonderfully supportive and harmonious aspect, and I think it's really notable that both the sun and the moon, as we begin Taurus season, are in a relationship with Pluto. And I love that the moon is in this trine with Pluto. This really gives me that sense that maybe we have access to our deeper emotional knowing, to our deeper intuition, to our deeper power. And there's also a lightheartedness that the moon in Gemini can bring to this, that maybe just through simple, short, breezy, light interactions with other people, we can allow for things to come to light. Maybe we don't need to get ourselves worked up about them. Maybe we don't need to get upset by them. Maybe we're just gathering information, and that information helps us to recognize and process our emotions so that we can move more into our own center. So allowing yourself to have those conversations, and maybe they don't need to be deep, meaningful conversations. Maybe they can just be quick passes, 5, 10 minutes, just an assertion of what you've noticed, of what it feels like to be you now as you are re-entering into the world, and just gathering feedback, gathering information, noticing what shows up in your body, noticing how it feels, and again, moving more deeply into your intuition, which is where the real power lies. I also want to highlight over here that we have Venus at the tail end of Taurus just coming in to meet Uranus. And I'm giving this special note because Venus is, in traditional terms, we would say the ruler of the sign of Taurus. It feels funny to me, the idea of planets ruling over star systems. So I'm going to go ahead and say steward, which feels more natural to me. So Venus is the steward of the sign of Taurus, which means that there's a relationship between Taurus and Venus. There's a natural affinity. And Venus also, we could think of, again, as like a local representative or spokesperson for Taurus. It's looking after after Taurus. And it's nice to see Venus sitting here in Taurus as the sun is entering. This really gives the sun and Venus a natural way to communicate and to understand one another. And Venus generally talks a lot about values. And in Taurus, I find the things that we're thinking about when it comes to our values are very much around beauty and art and the appreciation again of our senses, of music, of cooking, of textiles, things that are very embodied, things that are very sensual. Venus and Taurus can really draw that out as a way for us to connect with ourselves, as a way for us to connect with others, and as a way for us to connect with the world around us. I think it's really interesting that we've got Venus and Uranus sitting here together. Uranus often wants us to look for things that are unexpected, that are surprising, that break from convention. So here, looking for beauty in unexpected places, or being surprised by beauty, turning a corner and suddenly there's something you've never seen before, or even maybe appreciating the beauty of something simply for the fact that it is different. Maybe it may not be to your taste, maybe may not be to your liking, but you can still be glad that it's present, that it's here in the world, that it is an original expression. I think there's really something here around taste I've been tuning into too, and this deeper knowledge that there's no such thing as good or bad taste. There's no such thing as something that is inherently more valuable than something else. It's all individual, it's all subjective, it's all really personal. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And there's something here about being able to break from the convention, those ideas of what beauty needs to be or should be, and seeing beauty in everything, in every moment. And again, appreciating how wonderful it is that there are things around us that we get to have a response to, that we get to react to, and setting ourselves free, appreciating the beauty of the unconventional, the beauty of stepping outside of the box. This is something that's really available over the course of this month. I'm also thinking about a Coco Chanel quote, which I feel like I'm going to butcher, but I'm going to look it up so I can tell it to you right now. I saw it in a shop window, of course. I love the synchronicity and how things reach me. The quote is, "Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself." And this to me perhaps says it all. When you are your own original expression, you are the most beautiful that you can ever be. And can you appreciate the beauty of all of the original expressions that you see in every single moment, all around you, all of the time? Beauty is, again, in the eye of the beholder, so choose to look for it and you'll find it. I also feel really emotional as I tune into this, as Venus will be the last planet to meet Uranus in a conjunction before Uranus departs into Gemini in just a few days. And it feels to me like Uranus has been almost like a roommate to Venus. It's been living with Venus or in Venus's house for 8 years now. And suddenly it's time to leave. And I have that feeling like if you've moved, when you've cleared out all of your things from a space, and just before you hand the keys back, you look around at the empty walls and the bare floors, and you just appreciate how much life has been in this space and how much you have grown and changed. And so this is really an invitation for all of us to appreciate how much we have grown and changed over the past 8 years. If you know your birth chart, to think about that part of your life that Taurus is associated with, or to think about some of those Taurian themes more generally, your relationship with your body, your relationship with food, your relationship with ecology, the earth, the environment, your relationship with beauty, your relationship with music, your relationship with money and material support, these wonderful Taurian themes that have received a lot of disruption, perhaps to say it lightly, over the past 8 years. And that disruption isn't without a purpose. It's to help us develop our own independent, perfectly sized relationships with whatever it is that we need to connect with in the world around us. That's what Uranus wants. It wants greater freedom, greater individuality. It wants us to feel untethered and lightened. And when I think about my relationship with my body, I'm not even sure I knew I had a body in the same way that I do now 8 years ago, or my relationship with food, my appreciation of how what I eat comes from the environment around me, how it also contributes to the environment around me, the choices that I make that are affecting the ecology of our world, and my relationship with money, which has transformed dramatically from where it was 8 years ago. And over this period of time, perhaps there hasn't been a lot of stability in your life around these themes or topics. I wouldn't expect there to be. When I see Uranus show up in consultations, I often say, you don't need to build a house when there's a hurricane. And the winds have certainly been blowing. And now that Uranus is leaving and moving on to Gemini, there is a chance to really solidify these new relationships that you have with these Taurian themes and values in your life. And Taurus, perhaps of all the signs, is the least excited about being disrupted. It's fixed earth. It likes to stay where it is. It likes to feel solid and sturdy. So there really is this sigh of relief as we can welcome a chance to really feels like putting down roots. So both appreciate all the change and what has been in your life, and also allow yourself to relax, to feel steady, and to feel calm and comfortable in the wisdom that you now have. And know that even as Uranus moves on, this is staying with you. I also want to take a peek over here at this other magical conjunction that's happening up in the sky above. I've never seen something like this before. It's wonderful to see Mercury, Mars, and Saturn all coming together here in the same degree of Aries as the Sun enters Taurus. And this energy is very prominent and very strong. I have been feeling it in a very real way for the past few days. The sorts of things that have been showing up for me. I'll give one example, which is that it has taken me 3 days to record this video. I first tried on Monday morning. I think I've recorded fuller versions of this, longer versions of this, going through all of the solar aspects. Every time something has happened, something has gone really funny or strange with the sound, I've had to delete and reinstall Zoom. I've restarted my computer multiple times. I've had to get an external microphone. My internet was cutting in and out for 3 hours earlier today. So it's not until now that I'm finally able to show up. And it was through this real perseverance and this commitment that I'm going to do it. And when I think about Mercury, Saturn, and Mars coming together, there's something around perseverance. There's always perseverance and grit that we experience when we have Mars and Saturn coming together. It can feel like challenge or difficulty or like being held back, but really what it is, it's an invitation to keep doing something. It's an invitation to keep showing up. It's an invitation to recommit to something. And with Mercury there, perhaps there's something you're recommitting about what you have to say, or the information that you are receiving, how you are processing it, and how you are bringing it into the world around you. And I'll say that over the past few days, as I have been doing this time and time again, I've noticed every time I have received and tuned into more information about this month, and it has become wizened. And I've also noticed that what I'm saying is becoming more succinct, it's becoming more clear. Even the idea of how to share these videos, how to work with them, how to best express the energy in a way that you can understand, even that's gotten a lot more clear. I've gotten so much value from this experience. And yes, there was frustration. And yes, there were many times when I prayed and asked for angelic assistance to just make this recording work. And also, it's happening in divine timing. So this really to me is a message of holding the line. If you have something that wants to get there, wants to get out there into the world, keep doing it. Don't give up. Every time you're learning something, every time you're getting closer, every single thing that you do counts. So don't let it go. Just because it feels difficult, just because it feels challenging, just because you're perceiving something as a setback or as a step backwards, there's no such thing as a step back. We're always moving forwards through time. We're always taking a step forwards. We're always gathering more experience, gathering more wisdom. So trust yourself in that knowledge. And another mantra that showed up for me earlier today was remembering I am the creator of my life. I am the creator of this experience. I am the one who's emanating something that has offered me this chance to record and re-record and re-record and re-record. And I always give myself a way through it. I always give myself a way through it. I created this and I also created a way through it. There's no way that I would create something without a way through it. This is how life works. I'm here. No matter what, I'm here. I have always found a way through, and you will also always find a way through. So I encourage you to hold that in your heart, and also to remember that we have the blessings of Taurus that are right here with us, that we can relax, We can go into our bodies. We can notice what's present for us. We can rest when we need to rest. We can close our eyes when we need to close our eyes. We can go and put our feet on the grass when we need to put our feet on the grass. We can go below whatever story we have that's causing us frustration, anger. I've been doing this too. I've been allowing myself to lie. Just simply lie down on the ground. I've been putting my feet on the grass. I have been listening to my body. This has been wonderfully soothing. So these energies also work together. And the more that I do that, the more grounded I am, the more calm that I am, the more that I'm able to persevere, the more that I'm able to show up and do exactly what I'm here to do. So let this be an inspiration to you to really enjoy the fullness of this month, to step more into the truth of who you are and to live it. Again, I'd love to see you if you want to join me for the class tomorrow, April 23rd at 5 p.m. UK time, or if you'd like to come and join me for a free online Taurus retreat. I offer these retreats every time the sun changes signs. I'll be doing this on Sunday, April 26th at 8 p.m. UK time. And this will be very much focused on connecting with the energy of Taurus and allowing for our bodies to relax, to go below the frustration, the anger, the agitation, the stories about what isn't going well in our life, and to appreciate the beauty of what is. So I'd love to see you there. I'll put links down below if you'd like to join me. Thank you so much. All my love, and I wish you the very best.